Brand new cities are coming to Europe in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and the British Isles have gained an overhaul thanks to an update from Orbx. These then are the latest details going on with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So City Update 5 is been slightly delayed, and it's now coming on Tuesday the 19th of December, so next week. Now this is a European focused update, so it's going to focus on cities in many of the European countries. Unfortunately, Microsoft haven't detailed exactly what cities are going to be overhauled and updated, but what we do know is they will be new photogrammetry cities, either improvements on existing photogrammetry cities or brand new photogrammetry cities replacing the existing 3D models. Now, one city I'm really hoping to see an improvement for and an overhaul for, and many of you likely feel the exact same way, is going to be London. This city was updated quite a few years ago at this point, and well, it was a pretty catastrophic update in terms of the photogrammetry. Head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, Jörg Newman, has said multiple times that he wasn't happy with London and, well, that he was going to get it overhauled. That was quite a while ago. Now seems the right time to get that done, so fingers crossed on that count. Then again, some of you will probably be aware that this is not going to be the first European city update. City Update 4 covered Western Europe. So that was 5 cities, one in France, Switzerland, Belgium, Luxembourg and Netherlands. City Update 3 meanwhile was Texas. City Update 2 I believe was France, and City Update 1 was Germany. So yeah, there's definitely a bias here towards Europe. Now, in some respects I can completely understand this, because the United States does have more than its fair share of photogrammetric cities. There's a whole load of them over there. Europe was some ways behind. But that said, there's also plenty of other countries and continents out there that just still are really lagging, and yeah, unfortunately, City Update 5 is not going to be the one to bring cities to the rest of the world. But talking of the rest of the world, the British Isles is getting an overhaul thanks to an update from Orbx. Now this is a paid update. It costs around about $10 US. You can get it from Orbx, and it overhauls the terrain for pretty much the entirety of the British Isles. Now I'm going to talk about that right now, but before I do that, if you're enjoying this video and finding it useful or helpful, please do consider liking and subscribing. It really does help this channel out. So the new terrain overhaul of the British Isles follows on from the other packs that Orbx have released, which cover Iceland, Alaska, the Himalayas and the Central Asian mesh. But what will the pack for the British Isles actually contain? Well, Orbx say it will contain all of Great Britain, Ireland, the Isle of Man, the Northern Isles and around 6,000 smaller islands around the North Atlantic. They say that an in-depth analysis of existing default elevation data across the entire coverage area has guided the development of this add-on. So this means they've improved low-resolution areas, they filled in various gaps that were in the existing geometry, fixed some spikes on some of the higher areas such as mountains, and generally fixed terrain all over the entire country and the entire region that they're covering here. In fact, 200 locations have been added with a 2-meter pixel resolution. So personally speaking, this is an absolutely fantastic update for me. It's not something I've tried out just yet, I've only just become aware of it, but it is something I'm going to try out over the weekend. I'm especially interested in seeing the improvements it brings to the national parks in the north of England. I just so happen to live right near the North York Moors and pretty close to the Yorkshire Downs as well, and there's some fairly high terrain around both these locations. If you're interested in seeing the results of this, do please let me know in the comment section, and I'll see about releasing a video next week on this update if there's enough interest in that. Meanwhile, the latest development update from Microsoft gives a little bit of insight as to what we can expect to see in Sim Update 15. This includes the Airbus A320neo, so they confirm that AnyBuilds is working on a new version of the Airbus A320neo, and they say this is going to sit alongside the existing Asobo version of the aircraft. They say the level of complexity in the new A320neo is going to be similar to AnyBuild's A310, so that's going to be a step up over the default vanilla versions. This of course will be a free update. They also say in Sim Update 15 we're going to see some Game of the Year and 40th Anniversary aircraft fixes, some world fixes. The community team, they say, have collected feedback from all around the forums and are in the process of applying some fixes for some of these issues. And finally, at long last, in January, we can expect to see the Scenery Gateway system, or otherwise known as the World Hub, finally releasing into alpha. And this one has been a very long time coming. The brief summary here is that this will allow simmers to update all the various airports around the world. These updates then that will be applied and made by simmers will be uploaded to Microsoft. They will then have to approve them and eventually release them in a future update. So a very quick way and a very efficient way, hopefully, of getting the various airports around the world updated and made much more accurate. So yeah, at last we can expect to see that in January. That pretty much brings us to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and whilst you're here, please do check out these other videos on the screen.